Hello, everyone. He's only been in office for 3 weeks, but Councilman Mark Boyle is already the focus of an ethics investigation by the city of Benson. And the haters, as I call them, and a lot of other people refer to them, have reached a new low in their invective and their hate, as in anti-Semitism. Now, I'm not going to go to the intro, the music bed, or anything like that. I'm just going to get right into it because this is going to be a short podcast, and frankly, it's not one I like to do. Mark Boyle is actively being investigated by the city of Benson for possible ethics violations, including abuse of power or office for public conduct that he is doing, including, again, the theft of intellectual property and other possible violations. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that. You can call the city and confirm that he is under investigation. The man is vile, he's a liar, and his wife is even worse. Now, I have several sources that are talking to me who are disgusted with how these people are behaving. And they've been calling me with some information, and that's where I get this latest that really tells me these people are willing to stoop to anything in their insults and their vile invective. First of all, I'm told that Mark Boyle isn't really the one who's behind all of the negative postings. It's his wife. And someone who knows her well describes her as skinny, covered with tattoos, hateful, uses the F word, every other word. And, you know, a real good character reference there. But it's time to take off the gloves because these people aren't holding back, and I won't hold back either. Apparently, Mark Boyle doesn't have the cojones to do this stuff himself, so she's the one really driving it, but that makes him just as guilty, if not guiltier. Now, there's also another player in this whole thing, and this is going to let me wrap this up real quick, and that is a lady named Kristen Bittigan. So apparently, Kristen and I call her Champagne Bubbly Boyle. Let's just call her Bubbly Boyle, even though her name is Charmin, as in don't squeeze the Charmin. By the way, Kristen apparently, I don't know because I don't read their Facebook crap, but apparently she used the word new mother, referring to me as in Mr. New Mother, trying to butcher my name. You know, Kristen, you're juvenile. That's what kids on the playground do, and I've been hearing that since I was in the 5th grade. If you're going to try and play with my name, come up with something better. Like what I'm told you are known as is Kristen Bitchigan. Hey, not my words, and I won't call you that, but that's what other people call you. So here's what's happening. My source called me 2 days ago and said, hey, you might be interested in this. Because of my Star of David, and I've had some negative comments on it from other people, but nothing like this. Apparently, Bittigan and Bubbly Boyle have used language like kike bastard and that Jew over there that does a stupid podcast. In other words, it's anti-Semitism and Jewish hate. Now, they're probably smart enough to keep that off their postings, but that's how they talk. That's a new low. And so I finally decided it was time to respond to these people and call them out for it. You know, Kristen Bittigan's husband, Matthew, works for Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Co-op as a lineman. Probably makes between $120,000 and $140,000 a year. I was in the industry for 16 years, so I know. Now, the Bittigans are respected people in these parts. It's a good, strong family. So if he's not telling her to cut this crap, he's at least tolerating it. I wonder if Jason Bowling, the CEO at SSVC, knows about this latest. But I'm going to make sure he does, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to send him a link so he can watch this podcast. Back off. Apparently, in this one, I'm not so sure of, but I've been told that they wouldn't be surprised. One or the other of them refer to my son as the retard. I've done some podcasts on Desert Survivors, which is a program in Tucson, a nursery, an indigenous plant nursery that supports the handicapped, including my son. I'm very proud of him. He's not a retard. You people are. So just take that home. And the irony of it is, I'm not even Jewish. My immediate close family is. I have friends who are Jewish, including a friend from Israel who was in the IDF that I knew many years ago. So after the October 7th attacks, we were sitting around very upset at this outright wholesale slaughter. And someone said, well, we can make donations to this organization or that organization. I said, well, better than that, let's be proud of being Jewish. And I'll be the first one to wear the Star of David. So it's a show of support. And I've been complimented on it by many, many people. And they'll ask me, they say, why are you wearing the Star of David? And I explain it to them, and they give me a thumbs up. But apparently, Kristen Bittigan and Bubbly Boyle think it's something to make fun of and to denigrate. So just remember that. These people are vile, invective haters, and now I know they're anti-Semites too. It's especially just, and they like to make fun of mentally handicapped people. You know, you should be ashamed, but I know you won't be. You won't be ashamed of anything you do, but every time now that this kind of crap comes up, I'm going to call you out on it. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are not Kristen Bittigan or Charmin or Bubbly Boyle or Mark Boyle, they will be on my podcast next week, both Bittigan and Mark Boyle, but in a way you could never imagine. It's going to be fun. On that note, we'll catch you later.